everybody, welcome back to our weekly live stream. My name is Alicia, and today we're going to talk about 20 high-frequency phrasal verbs. This means 20 very common phrasal verbs. Today's lesson is based on some research into phrasal verbs. I chose these 20 verbs from a list of very often used verbs, and I chose the verbs that I feel like are maybe difficult to understand quickly or that I've noticed many learners make mistakes with. So I hope that these 20 are useful for you. We have a lot to cover in today's lesson, so please send your example sentences in the chat. I will try to check live, and of course, please, you can make some notes too. Also, I'll try to maybe step off screen one time so people can take a screenshot too. All right, but as you join, please make sure to hit the like button and share the video so that other learners can find today's lesson. And as always, please make sure to check the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook for free vocabulary PDFs about a topic of your interest. You can check out some of these. I'll show you later. That's the first announcement for this week. Second announcement, I want to share, I haven't talked about this in a while, but our monthly review series. This is a picture from a monthly review video that we recorded before. If you don't know about the monthly review is a every month series where you can send us an audio or a video message talking about your country or introducing yourself or sharing about why you're learning English. So this is actually from the point in the video where I listen or watch to your messages and respond to them, and then that goes into our monthly video. So if you want to join our monthly review next month, we're going to record soon. Please check the monthly review video on the English Class 101 YouTube. That would be awesome, awesome. So send us your audio and video messages. It would be super, super cool. Okay, that's all my announcements. I see many people are in the chat now. Hello on YouTube, Rendell, Julius, Sedifraz, Daniel, Gertrudis, Rodion, Abel, Mada, Bito. Hello, everybody. And on Facebook as well. Sokpan, Bensu, Amir, Paulo, Lavib, Muntasir, Edris, Javier. Hi, lots of people. Hello, everybody. Thanks very much for joining. I'm going to get started very quickly today because we have a lot to cover. Someone asked on YouTube about the monthly review, the picture I just mentioned. Please go to the English Class 101 YouTube channel, search for monthly review. You can find the video there. There's a link in the description to send your audio or video message, so please check that out. Okay, so let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about 20 high-frequency phrasal verbs. I'm going to introduce each verb. I'm going to explain the definition or the meaning. Sometimes there are two, and share some example sentences. So please feel free to send your example sentences as well. Let's get started though, because we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to share the lesson and then I'm going to begin. Okay, great. Let's get it going. First, let's start on this part of the board. You'll notice in today's lesson, a lot of the phrasal verbs will use up. I think this is the most common one, the most common preposition for today. So please note that up and out are some very, very commonly confused ones. So let's get started with pick up. Pick up. Pick up is our first phrasal verb. To pick up, and I think, yeah, we'll zoom in. It's hard to see. There's a lot today. Pick up, to pick up. There are two meanings for to pick up. First, to pick up can mean to take something from a low place and move it to a high place. So we use this a lot with the phone. For example, to pick up the phone, right? So the phone is in a lower place. You take it from the low place and move it to the high place. To pick up. So as in pick up the phone, or please pick up the phone. The second meaning for pick up is to collect someone or to collect something. So this is very commonly used in a sentence like this. Can you pick me up from the airport? Can you pick me up from the airport? So this means please collect me from the airport. So I arrive at the airport. I want you to collect me, like in your car or some other mode of transportation. So there are two ways to use pick up. Pick up. Second phrasal verb is come back. So I want to talk about come back and go back together, these two. They share very similar meanings, but what's important here with come back and go back is the perspective of the speaker. Perspective means the point of view of the speaker. So let's look at come back first. To come back means to return to a place. Yes, to return to a place, but from the point of view of a person who remains in that place. So for example, let's say I'm here in front of the camera and our control desk person suddenly leaves. And I'm like, oh no, like I'm in a live lesson. No, please come back. Please come back. I need your help. Please don't go anywhere. Please come back. I need your help. I say come back because I am still here. I don't say go back. I don't say go back. I'm remaining. I'm still in this place. So I say please come back. Please don't go away. However, go back is from the perspective of the other person. So again, to go back means to return to a place you were just in, but from the point of view of the person who moved away. So for example, again, if I'm here and the control desk person decides suddenly to leave the studio, and I'm like, no, come back. And the control desk person decides to enter the room again, he might say, I'm going to go back into the studio. I'm going to go back into the studio. So to come back and to go back, yes, they mean to return to a place, but your perspective, your point of view is very important here. So these two are very commonly confused. So some other examples with come back and go back are, please come back to visit soon. Please come back to visit soon. And I'm gonna go back to my college. I'm gonna go back to my college, yes. Okay, some examples. I'm looking for your examples on Facebook. Tan Tat Yong says, I will come back soon. I will come back soon. So like, I'll come back to a place you're in, maybe. Okay, I don't see any others, so let's continue on. We have two more in this first group. The next one, turn out. To turn out. To turn out means to end or to finish. We use this typically at like the end of an event, or when we want to talk about the way in which something finished, an event finished, a party finished, maybe like a live stream finished. So when we want to talk about how something finished, we can use turn out. For example, our event turned out. This is past tense. Our event turned out great. Our event turned out. That means our event ended great. Our event finished great. So to turn out means to end in some way, to end. Okay, and finally, very similar sounding, end up, to end up. So it might seem similar to turn out, but end up means to finally be in a situation or to finally be in a place. So we usually use end up when there's been some kind of struggle or some kind of challenge, and we tried many different things, and finally we finish in this situation or in this condition. For example, last night we ended up taking a taxi home. Last night we ended up taking a taxi home. So maybe in this situation, the speaker was out late at night with friends, or the speakers in this case, they were out late at night, and the train stopped running, or the subway stopped. So that was maybe a challenge or a struggle. they could say, last night we ended up. So it's like saying eventually, or in the end, after some struggles, we took a taxi home, or we ended up taking a taxi home. Okay, let's see. I'm looking for your examples. There are a few. Almeida says on YouTube, the party turned out great. Exactly, good. Edgar says, my birthday party turned out just fine. Perfect, very nice. Sarifman says, hello, Alicia, please come back tomorrow to teach me about English. Perfect, very nice. So digitally, come back, please come back. I cannot come back tomorrow, but please join us next week. Okay, some other examples. Kanwalit says he spent all his money and ended up with no money in the middle of the month. Perfect, very nice example. Life says they ended up loving each other. Okay, good. D. Valerin says, I ended up in the friend zone. Oh, nice example. Okay. On Facebook, Masaya, I ended the project. So we use end up when we want to talk about like something that happens after a struggle. So we follow end up, usually with some verb. This is taking in this case. We ended up taking. So we're talking about some action we eventually did. Okay. If you missed anything here, you can check the video, the recording of the video later. It's a lot today. So let's take one quick break and then we'll go to the next group of phrasal verbs. So I introduced this at the beginning of today's lesson very briefly. But as always, we have free stuff for everybody, free vocabulary PDFs. I'll go over here. Yeah. I usually show the business one. Of course, I know many of you are studying for work. On the back here, you will find some expressions for meetings, which I often talk about. And these often, today's lesson, we can use some of these phrasal verbs in meetings. So this is another good one to review. Also, another time when you're using phrasal verbs a lot is when shopping. This says clothes, yes, but in general, when you are shopping for things, phrasal verbs come up a lot. So these are a couple of examples of situations where phrasal verbs like these are very useful. So check these out. I'll show you some more later. There are lots of topics. You can find everything from the link below the video on YouTube or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. If you're watching on Instagram, please check YouTube or Facebook. And sorry, I can't see your comments live. Okay, so let's continue to the next part for today's lesson. Next, we're going to look at 5 more. And if you have not, please make sure to like and share this live lesson so other learners can find today's topic. Alrighty, onward. Next group. Let's start with this one, show up. To show up is our next phrasal verb. To show up means to appear. To appear, especially when not expected. So we typically use show up for people. So it's like we're surprised to see someone and like we want to express that surprise. For example, I was surprised the CEO showed up at the meeting. So showed up is the past tense form of show up. I was surprised the CEO showed up at the meeting. Like this, we could replace showed up with appeared, or we could say came too, but showed up is like it communicates the feeling of surprise or something unexpected happening. The CEO showed up in the meeting. Oh my gosh. So show up communicates this feeling of surprise, better than appear or come in this case. So we use this for people generally. Occasionally it's used for like objects, I suppose, but we'll talk about another one that we typically use for objects instead. Okay, Leah says, nice of you to show up. Great example. Nice of you to show up is like you weren't expecting someone to come. This has kind of a negative feel about it. Nice example, Leah. Okay, let's continue on to hold up. Hold up. So to hold up has 2 different uses that I'll talk about here. First is to raise something high. So to hold, we have the simple, just the verb to hold something. Like I hold my phone, like to hold my phone. And then I could say I hold up my phone. So this one is very easy to understand, I think, to hold something up, to hold something up. But the second meaning is probably less clear. The second meaning is to cause a delay, to cause a delay. So in an example sentence, a mistake held up the project. A mistake held up the project. So held up is the past tense of hold up. A mistake caused a delay in the project. A mistake held up the project. That's what this means. So we can say caused a delay in. That's also okay. But this one is a bit shorter. It's easier to say. A mistake held up the project, or an accident held up the train. So something that caused a delay can be expressed with hold up. Hold up. Okay, I will check to see if there are any examples really quickly. Human Yonghang on Facebook says, hold up there, hold up there. That's another use of hold up, which isn't really in a sentence, but as a command, hold up can also mean wait. Wait, like hold up can also mean to wait, to wait. We'll also see this with hold on later. But yes, hold up can also mean please wait, or casually to wait. So it's not really used in a sentence, just as it is. Okay, yes, many people are using the first meaning, to hold something up, like to hold up an object, okay? Tamara, I hope I said that right. The hurricane hold up the flight. Make sure the hurricane held up, past tense, yeah? The hurricane held up the flight. Caused, past tense, caused a delay in the flight. Okay, other examples. I don't see. Okay, let's continue on then. Next is check out, check out. So this one, again, there are two meanings I'm going to talk about in this lesson. To check out, number one, is to pay for items at a store. To pay for items at a store. So you've gone shopping, like you're at the bookstore or whatever, you've collected your items, you take them to the cash register, and you pay. So we use check out to describe that. I'm gonna check out. I would like to check out, please. That means I would like to pay for my stuff. I'm done shopping. To check out. The other meaning, though, means to look at something. So we usually use this for something new, something that is new. I want to check out a new thing. For example, let's check out that new restaurant. So I've used to look at something, but so we can use it for something new we physically look at. It can also mean like to experience, as in this case. Let's check out that new restaurant. It means like let's go and look around and try that new restaurant. So we usually use this for something new. So check that out, or let's check out this thing. To check out, to check out. Someone says check out the PDF cheat sheet now. Yeah, check it out, check out. There are lots of them. I think there are like 25 maybe. We have new ones. I don't know if I've shown all of them, but yes, please do check these out. Please do check these out. Okay. Nene on Facebook has another good example of check out. So I talked about check out at a store when you're ready to pay for something. You can also use it at a hotel when you leave the hotel, to check out of the hotel. Life says, is check out similar to confirm? No. Check out is different. To check is similar to confirm. To check, yes, I'm going to check some information. I'm going to confirm information. Yes, okay. All right, let's move on. So to move on, perfect segue. I didn't even plan that. Oh, so move on. To move on means to go to the next thing. I use this all the time. I just used this in the live lesson. So it means like to go to the next thing, usually in a list or usually in a sequence. So in this case, I have a big list of vocabulary words. I want to go to the next thing, I say, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to something. So this is the preposition we use. For example, I'm going to move on to the next part of the lesson. I'm going to move on to noun phrase. You'll hear this used in presentations. So I'm going to move on to the next slide. I'm going to move on to my next topic. This is very good for meetings and presentations. On to break down. Break down. Two things I want to talk about here. To break down means to make something smaller, For example, like if you have like a stick and you need to make it smaller, we can say to break it down, meaning to break it into smaller pieces like this kind of. So one thing becomes smaller, to break something down. But this one, the second meaning, is one we use in our lessons from time to time. To break something down can mean to explain something in detail, to give small details about something. For example, let's break down the grammar of this sentence. Let's break down the grammar of this sentence. That means let's look at the details. Let's explain in detail the small points of something. So let's break it down. Let's break this down. This is also very common in meetings, in classes, in lectures, and so on, to explain something in detail. As a question, you could say, could you please break this down for me? That means, can you please explain to me in detail? Can you please break this down? Okay, phew, let's continue on to column 3 because time's going quickly and we have lots to cover. I'm looking for your examples. But let's get to the next one. Put down, put down. So we talked about pick up at the beginning of the lesson. To pick something up is to take something from a low place and move it to a high place, yeah? To put down is the opposite. Put down the phone. That's what it means. So to move something from a high place or to move something you are holding to a resting position. So we pick up the phone, we put down the phone. I often hear students say pick the phone. No, we can't use pick the phone. Pick up the phone and put down the phone. This is the first meaning. The second meaning, though, is maybe a little more difficult. It means to discourage or to bully someone. So to discourage or to bully someone means to say mean things, to say rude things to someone, to make them feel bad. That's called putting someone down, to put someone down. In a sentence, don't put down your classmates. Don't put down your classmates. So that means like trying to move them to like a lower social position. You can kind of think of it as that. Okay, on to turn up. Turn up. I talked about this one, show up, earlier. We use show up for unexpected appearances a lot. Turn up has the same thing, the same feeling, but we use turn up for objects. So we use this when we're looking for something, like a marker. If I'm looking for my red marker, I can't find it, but finally I do find it. I can say, my marker. It turned up on the desk. Or in this example sentence, my keys turned up in my bathroom. So we use turn up, and it gives the listener the feeling that we were looking for something for a long time, or something was really hard for us to find, and at last we found it. Finally, we found that thing. It turned up, past tense, turned up. My marker turned up over there. So something we wanted to find. That's meaning 1. Meaning 2 is to raise the volume of music or to raise the volume of TV. So that just means to make something louder. Turn it up. I love this song. So you can use, of course, the opposite, to turn something down, like to turn the volume of a TV or music program down too. Alrighty, onward to hold on. I mentioned hold on briefly when we talked about hold up. Hold on means to wait, to wait. So as a command, we use hold on to mean wait, yes. So you will very commonly hear people say, hold on, or hold on a minute, or hold on a moment. It means please wait. So it doesn't mean hold anything. No holding here. But part two, meaning two, you might hear in movies, in TV, especially like action movies. Meaning two is to hold something, yes, but usually for safety purposes. Usually like a character in an action movie will say, hold on to something, like before an airplane crashes, I don't know. So to hold on to something is usually used for safety reasons. For example, with a beautiful drawing, hold on to the ladder when climbing. So if this is my beautiful ladder, so when you're climbing, for safety reasons, you should hold on to the ladder. So that means like physically holding something and like continuing to hold that thing. To hold on, usually for safety reasons. Yes, many people are using the wait version of hold on. Great, great. I see lots of these. All right, onward to catch up, to catch up, to catch up. Not ketchup, the common food that we have with French fries. To catch up means to get the latest information, and it means to get to the same place as someone, like especially in a competition, like in a race. For example, let's get a coffee and catch up. Let's get a coffee and catch up. So that means let's get a coffee and share our latest news. Let's share our latest information. For meaning two, though, we might hear this in sports. So if you like to watch sports, you might hear like Team A caught up to Team B. The preposition is to there. Team A caught up to Team B. Like they were at 10 points, now they're at 15 points. They caught up to Team B. So they got to the same place as someone or another team. All right, take over is the last one for this group. To take over means to completely control something. You might hear this in business news. So like company A took over, past tense of take is took. Company A took over company B. So company A completely has control of company B. To completely take over something, to take control of something. Now they have the power. Example, my job is taking over my life. That's not true. My job is taking over my life. But that means my job has total control over my life. To take over something. To take over something. All right, we have 5 left. Oh my gosh, we might make it in time. I'm trying to check your examples really quickly. People are using hold up. Yeah, please hold up a minute. Great job with using hold up. Yes, some people are asking about the expression broke down. Yes, to break down means to have usually a mechanical problem, to break down, or to have an emotional problem. I broke down last night. I lost my job. Some of you are asking about breakdown. There are those 2 meanings. All right, let's go to our final group for this lesson. Again, lots that use up, 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 up. First one is look up. Look up. So the easy one to understand, the easy meaning to understand here is to like use your eyes and look in an upward direction. Like look up at the sky. That's easy to understand, I think. But someone mentioned it earlier in this lesson. To look up means to research something, to check information, to research something. So like if I don't know a vocabulary word, I might check it. Like, I'm going to look up the meaning of this vocabulary word. I'm going to research the vocabulary word. Like what does the word, what does inauguration mean? I don't know. I'm going to look up this word. It means research or to check or try to confirm something. Okay, my example here was, please look up the definition. So this is a great word for learners of languages. To look up something, or to, it sounds a little more casual, a lot more casual actually, than research. Research sounds very heavy, like very detailed. Look up is like just a quick check. Okay, on to put up. Put up. Again, 2 meanings for put up. First is to tolerate, to tolerate. So to tolerate something means to stand something. Usually there's some negative thing and you try not to let it affect you. That's called tolerating something. So even if something bad happens, someone says rude things or something is unpleasant, you continue to do your best. You tolerate something. We use put up to mean this. For example, I don't put up with rude behavior. So the preposition we use is with. I don't put up with noun phrase. I don't put up with rude behavior. That means I don't tolerate rude behavior. That's not okay for me. I don't tolerate. So put up, and in this meaning, we follow with the preposition with. I don't put up with rude behavior. Second is to decorate. To decorate, so these are very different meanings, yeah? To decorate. This physically means to put an object, to put something like up high. So we use it a lot like on the holidays, like we want to hang lights, for example. It actually means putting something, oh, it's too heavy. We put an object up somewhere for the purpose of decoration. To put up, noun phrase. So no with in that case, to put up decorations. Okay. Some good examples with put up. Someone, Rahul says, I put up with pain. Yeah, so many people, if you have a medical issue, you might say, I put up with this problem all the time, or this pain is difficult for me to put up with. Yes, great example, great example. Okay, I don't see other ones. We're almost done. I hope it's okay. Three more are bring up. First one, bring up. This is great for business meetings. To bring up means to introduce a topic for discussion. To introduce a topic for discussion. For example, our manager brought up, past tense, our manager brought up our new product performance at the meeting. So this means our manager introduced the topic of our new product performance at the meeting. So to bring up means to introduce someone. All right, last two. We're almost there. I'm a bit late, sorry. I'll finish quickly. Pull up. To pull up can mean to open a file on a computer. To open a file on a computer. Hey, Miguel, one of our members has joined. Hi there. So to open a file on a computer, we use pull up because it's sort of like, if you can imagine, when you open a file on your computer, it kind of goes whoosh like this. Yeah, sort of kind of. So we use the phrasal verb pull up to refer to this. When the file comes up, appears on your screen. So to pull up. And we also use this when driving. It means to drive a short distance, to stop at a point. We use this for like fast food restaurants when we go to drive through. We might say, pull up to the window, please. So the preposition in this case is to. Pull up to the window. Pull up to the window. And one more example. Can you pull up that picture? So on your computer is what this means. Can you please pull up that picture? That's what this request is asking for. You might hear open as well, but pull up also is commonly used. Last one. Last one. Appropriately, I chose this for the last one, is shut down. To shut down. So to shut down, of course, is used for computers. To shut down means to turn off, usually a computer or other machine, other mechanical device. To shut down, to cut power to something. I need to shut down my computer, or try shutting down your computer. But we also have this very casual meaning, which is to reject. To reject. For example, I asked my boss for a raise, but she shut me down. She shut me down. That means I asked my boss for a raise, but she rejected me, or she declined. So reject or to decline as well. It can have that meaning. So to shut down can mean to be refused. But this is very casual, very casual. So we use this when we're speaking with our friends if we're rejected. Wow, so we made it, guys. We made it, everybody. We made it through 20 phrasal verbs in 35 minutes. Very close, very close. So these are 20 very, very common phrasal verbs that I've noticed might be hard to understand or are a little bit tricky. And there's a lot to cover here. I'll step off screen once really, really quickly. You can take a screenshot. Boom. If you like, and I hope that this is helpful for your studies. So I know I couldn't check a lot of your examples today. We had a lot to talk about, but please send your questions in the chat after. I'll try to check there too. I'll finish there for today. Wow, that was a lot. If you missed the lesson, check it. It was recorded. Everything is good. But I have to finish. I'm very late, so please join us again next week. If you missed today's lesson, we'll be back next week. Next week, what am I talking about? How to use the verb get. Yeah, I'm going to talk about a few different ways we use the verb get. This is a popular question from all of you. So please join us live again next week, Wednesday, October 10th, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is New York City time. If you don't know, please Google your local time. We'll talk about the verb get. That will be great. And don't forget as well to check out, where's checkout? There it is, yeah. Okay, so don't forget to check out all of the PDFs that are available for free from the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook, Instagram, check YouTube or Facebook. We'll end there. Thank you so, so much for your great examples. Thank you for liking and for sharing today's lesson. We all really, really appreciate it. I hope you have a great week and enjoy your weekend. We will see you again next time. Bye-bye.